Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Institutions Innovation Council, WellTech, and Mastering Up TEMS Tech Solutions, first of all, I would like to say thank you to everyone gathered here. Myself, Satyanathan, convener IIC WellTech. I feel honored to welcome you all to this webinar, The New World Paradigm Graduate Skill Set. It's our pleasure to invite our resource person for this event, Dr. Mythili, Chief Strategy Officer, Funky B, recipient of Outstanding Women Educator and Scholar in Strategic Management by the National Foundation of Entrepreneurial Development, India in 2024. Welcome, ma'am. WellTech Institutions Innovation Council and Technology Business Incubator is grateful to Dr. Mythili for the acceptance of our invitation and for sharing your valuable time with us, ma'am. WellTech TBI and Institutions Innovation Council regularly conduct series of events in association with TEM Solutions, fostering the culture of innovation, design thinking, patent filing, and all startup-related activities across our Education Institute. As a part of this, on behalf of WellTech Institutions Innovation Council and TBI, today we are conducting this event to cultivate new ideas in fresh minds of students and faculty, and to encourage student and faculty startup in all over the institutions. Finally, once again, I welcome all the participants to this event today. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the introduction. So before we start Dr. Mythili's session, I would like to give some short introduction about her. So it's with great pleasure that we welcome Dr. Mythili Kolluru as our guest speaker today. So Dr. Mythili is a distinguished academic and celebrated scholar, recognized nationally for her exceptional contributions to education and research. As an assistant professor in the marketing and management department at the College of Banking and Financial Studies in Muscat, she has made significant strides in her field and earning acclaim for her innovative teaching methods and scholarly achievements. Her robust educational background, including a doctorate from Andhra University and certifications as a strategy planning professional, highlights her expertise in strategic management and leadership. So, Dr. Mythili's influence extends beyond academia into the professional world, where she serves as the Chief Strategy Officer of Fungip, a London based management consultancy. Her multifaceted career is further evidenced by numerous publications in top tier index journals, edited book chapters, business magazines, and leading newspapers. Her book, Leadership Perspectives, a Knowledge Woman Story, showcases her thought leadership and deep understanding of leadership dynamics, making a significant impact on both academic and professional audiences. So, moreover, Dr. Mythili maintains a robust digital presence as an author, mentor, coach, keynote speaker, and corporate trainer. Her contributions to knowledge women exemplify her commitment to advancing knowledge and fostering growth within her field. With her dynamic career and comprehensive expertise, Dr. Mythili stands as a leading figure in both academic and corporate circles, and we are honored to have her share her insights and experiences with us today. So, before the session, I would like to give a short intro about our services like our 10 step solutions, a pairing search venture. So, our company is dedicated to developing innovative engineering, management, and scientific tech solutions and tailored to support your ecosystem with our forward thinking approach. So, we pride ourselves on offering affordable services and robust support backed by a professional and skilled team to ready to deliver exceptional business plans. Temstic Solutions is specialized in a comprehensive array of services, including digital marketing, web designing, server management, on-field marketing, Android and iOS app development, telecommunications, AI tools, SEO, and web analytics. So we also excel in business operations and process automation across various sectors, such as industrial research, mechanical and automobile, aerospace and defense, electronics and energy, architecture and civil engineering, medical applications, maritime and marine, agriculture, and more. So, additionally, we are passionate about education through Mastering Up is a free platform aimed at unlocking skills for a brighter future. We invite you to join us in empowering young learners by sharing your knowledge and expertise. So, our guest lectures foster skill development and knowledge sharing and personal growth, offering a platform to inspire, educate, and connect with an enthusiastic audience to eager to learn. So, at the end, I would like to introduce to the motto of Dr. Mythili Kolluru: empowering minds, shaping futures, and leading with vision. So, I would like to hand over the session to Dr. Mythili, and also thanks you for lot for joining us today. And over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Suganti and Professor also for the wonderful introduction. I'm honored and it's a pleasure to be here. And remaining, I would like to start with the session, so I'll talk during the session also. Can I share the screen now?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Can you all see the screen?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Can you hear my voice clearly?
Yeah, yes, perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I think I'm getting some disturbance. Yeah, it's fine now. Thank you so much. A warm welcome to all of you. I'm very excited to speak about this session because this is very close to me. And as a professor and as a pioneer in education, I believe that it's very important for students to develop a particular skill set in order to be job ready, which is a lot different from the books. So when Suganti approached me as to what would you like to speak, I said students need to be much more aware of the graduate skill sets that are required by the industry. So this is a very important session for all of you, and this is what we discuss in other forums also, how we can ensure that skills development is there, how students can perform better. At this point, I want to mention that as Suganti spoke, that I'm a professor. And when I sit in a class, I always think, how can I improve student achievement? How best can my pedagogy be put forward? Whether I'm talking strategy, whether I'm talking leadership, or I'm talking something about teamwork, or I'm talking about technology, how best? And this brings me to a very interesting research that I would like to share here. And I think it's of importance to all of you also. It's a research done by John Haiti in 2009. There are many other researchers of similar nature also. What does this study do? It's very interesting because it talks about what are the factors that bring about a variance in student performance. And it's interesting to know that 50% of the variance in your performance is because of you. You are a key stakeholder in your life, in shaping your life, in ensuring that you are successful. And 30% of your variance is dependent on me as a professor, how I engage with you, how I discuss with you, what kind of feedback I provide to you. So I too play a key role to the extent of 30%. And give and take another 5 to 10% is attributed because of your background. You see, some people are at an advantage. Maybe they come from an economically background, they come from parents who are highly educated, giving them an edge maybe in communication skills. and some are less fortunate. Maybe they do not have the economic status. So this is only 5 to 10%. And another 5 to 10% depends on the institution. So you are all part of Mastering Up institution, which is offering this wonderful opportunity. So in the 5 to 10, you are at 8 maybe. So maybe there could be another institution that is not engaging in these kind of sessions. So they would be a little disadvantaged. But who is the key role, main stakeholder? That's you. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my share of the bargain, that I try to do my best with 30%. And I would like to start this session by requesting all of you to make a promise to contribute your 50% towards your success. Now, this graduate skill set that I'm going to be talking about is very important, and I will share the PPT with her, and you can keep it with you as a check for the rest of your lives, because there are so many points that are written here. And I am sure that every time you have a setback, please just go through these PPTs and you will see one point where you were maybe this was wanting. That's why you were not successful, or you succeeded because of this point. And this skill set is going to change. Life is dynamic, and so is the skill set that I'm going to present. So, with this promise made from both of us, I would like to start with the session. Before we even start to understand what are the graduate skill set, we need to understand the new paradigm. That's a new shift that's happening in the world, in which all of you are entering the market, in which people like us are already in the market. So it's going to affect both of us. So the first thing is the Barney environment. So earlier I used to talk about VUCA environment. And now from 2016, John Cassio has structured an environment which is called Barney. So I'll be very brief about this and not go into too much detail. So please bear with me. Barney talks about brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. So brittle means recently CrowdStrike, which is a software company, was not able to do an update, because of which we had an outage globally. So I thought that our computer systems, our internet are so strong. We are a globalized world and we are all connected with 5G. Then what happened? Our economy is not as robust as we think. It's brittle. So because of this, what happened? We went back. There were airlines which had to cancel flights because there are a lot of check-in, passenger check-ins that you need to do, which could not be done. Some airlines were issuing handwritten boarding passes, and there was a lot of chaos, a lot of money was lost, so many things happened, all because of our system not being actually resilient, but all of us relying only on one operating system. COVID has also shown us that our global supply chains are quite brittle. One small change, one geopolitical tension, and we are in stress. Anxious. Uncertainties are more. Job insecurity is more. Recently, we all saw the stock market fall drastically. Why? Because people got anxious once they realized that the US economy is not doing well. And the biggest dip was by Japan Stock Exchange. So all stock exchanges across the world reacted instantly. They are so anxious as to what's going to happen. So we are in a state of anxiousness. Students are worried about jobs. Economies are worried about GDP. So there is a heightened state of anxiety. Non-linear. Non-linear talks about earlier we used to be able to predict what is the cause and effect. Today we are not able to predict. So for example, we have a crisis in Bangladesh, and we know that the Bangladesh textile economy is really doing well, and it has connections with international companies. So now what's going to happen? Who's going to get those contracts? Is it going to Sri Lanka? Is it going to go to India? Or are they going to recover and retain those contracts? So that is incomprehensible, and it is non-linear. And incomprehensible means the changes that are happening across the globe, the wars that are happening, the tensions that people are experiencing. It's not easy to predict or interpret. So we are all going to be entering into a world joining companies working in an environment which is like this. So we need to understand the context of the world, the context of your region, of your geography where you're planning to enter the market. Disruption is no longer new. Disruption has come home. It's very common now. So we hear disruptions in supply chain, we hear disruption in business, in lifestyle, in every aspect of life, we are experiencing disruptions. Disruption means, if you want to take it in a lighter way, a deviation. Larger the scale, you say it's disrupted the economy. So we are going to be experiencing more deviations. How prepared are you for these deviations? Technological advancements is something I don't need to speak about because we are all very familiar with the advancements of technology. It could be chat GPT, it could be artificial intelligence, it could be robotics. All of these are going to affect us. Sustainability and climate kind. Sustainability focus and climate kind. I could have included climate kind in sustainability focus, but I choose to keep it as a separate point because it is so vital. So today, organizations are all moving forward. At the moment, there are climate meetings going on, climate sessions going on, sustainability forums. Top leaders of companies are being invited. Trainings are happening for these leaders to understand how they can bring about sustainability through their business, how they can ensure that resources are better utilized, wastage is less, environmental, social, and economic sustainability. How can it be achieved in reality? So when you sit down and you try to think about the numbers and how you can make your business sustainable, it's not easy. So do you know what is sustainability? Do you understand the impact of climate? Do you know that mountains melting in Himalayas or other parts of Antarctica in the polar region are resulting in cities going to be submerged under the sea? This is something which is incomprehensible, taking me back to my Bani. So Jakarta is going under the sea. There are so many cities further ahead. All big cities are surprisingly will be under the sea, unfortunately, by 2040 and some more in the next 50 to 70 years. There is something called a coastal wall which is being bridged. When I read about this, I was so surprised. I would never imagine that we would be in an age where we are going to build a wall to stop the sea. Is that even possible? But Jakarta is doing it. Unfortunately, the reports say that by 2030 to 2040, this wall also could be submerged. Now, who is responsible for this? We are all responsible. So, all companies now are saying, okay, let us see what we can do a little more, how I can be a little more sustainable. How can I ensure that my work or my performance is more climate kind? Can I at least do carpooling? So, as a manager, as an employee, as an accountant, as a HR, as an IT professional, are you aware of these facts and do you think you could incorporate them? It's very, very important. And the future of work is something which has become the present of work. Though we are using the term future of work. I'm also writing a book on future of work, so I just take a few minutes to talk about how important the future of work is. Future of work is talking about the changes, the radical changes that are happening in work, and not only in work, but about work, the perception of work. For example, Japan is the most hardworking country in the world. They are also the country that takes the least amount of annual vacation in the world. Okay, and they are a country who are also having a lot of challenges because of work. They are having stress and they have something called death by work, which is called corrosion. And Japan is a country which is living so that they can work. But over a period of a decade, all of this has changed. Now, Japan is not living to work, but they're working to live. They have something called National Mountain Days. So they're encouraging people to go out. So a country like Japan is transitioning. A country like India is adapting to remote work. A country like France is also undergoing its own social political changes in order to adapt to the new kind of work. So across the world, changes are happening in terms of how you work, how you think about work, what is well being, various aspects related to work. Why this slide is so important is for you to understand the macro perspective in which you are going to enter. It's like a world, and you're going to enter into this world. So, for this world today, what are the skill sets that you require? And this slide will change in another decade. So, in another 10 years, the concept might be same, but what I would be writing within it will change. So, you need to be updated also. So that's the new paradigm. And now I talk about four skill sets, what I'm going to be discussing today, and helping you to understand how you can prepare yourselves better. The first one is problem solving. We've all heard of these. I'm not going to talk about something which is never heard of, but I'm going to stress on the nuances of each one of those. So when you talk about problem solving, it refers to analytical thinking, innovation, and complex problem solving. We're not born with complex problem solving skills. We have the innate capacity as humans to achieve excellence. We are born intelligent, all of us. Each one of you listening to this presentation, or each one of you present in the world today, is unique and intelligent. Don't let anybody else tell you you are any less than that. So you have the capacity, but are you willing to build the capability? Is my question. So analytical thinking and critical problem solving don't come naturally. You have to build on those skills. So problem solving means what? You have a complex situation. How are you going to address it? So you will have to have practical hands-on experience of handling different problems, or at least about reading case studies about different problems, how they could be solved. How can I integrate technology and sustainability in my work is quite complex. It requires a lot of brainstorming and thinking. So can you do that? That's the meaning of problem solving. Today, when you are going to be sitting in an interview, you have to be a problem solver. You must be able to come up with solutions. So for that, you need to think. You need to think critically. And the best way to do that is to look at a problem in a new way. So whatever is the problem, you have to think about the problem. You have to be creative. You have to have an element of originality, and you must take initiative. So problem solving is just not about critical thinking and only technical skills, but it's also coming up with a new way to solve a problem. Maybe it's a people's problem. Maybe it's a technical problem. Maybe it's a programming problem. The problem that you will be facing in your workspace will be technical, will be structural, will be also people problems. And the people problems are the toughest to handle, and they are diverse. So, how are you going to approach it? With creativity, coming up with a new idea, thinking out of the box. That is something that we need to come out of. Thinking out of the box, herd mentality. So, this is all creative. Don't think like everybody else. Don't think like one of the herd. Try to think outside. So that requires a conscious effort. All the skills that I'm talking about require conscious efforts from you and hands on experience. And you need to have reason and logic when you are trying to solve problems, and a lot of ideation. Be willing to experiment. Maybe one solution is not going to work. Don't think that your solution has to work. So you must be ready to come up with another solution. You must be able to think without doubt and willing to experiment. So, problem solving is a major skill that you need to have, irrespective of your position. The skills that I'm talking today are applicable to each and every student, every person, including myself. I am no exception. All of these skills are applicable to me too, because I too face problems at work. Just because I have 23 years of experience, my problems are not going to go away. And I don't know what problems are going to come tomorrow. Could be in the form of a rule, could be in the form of a policy, could be a student suddenly behaves in a way which I never expected. So how do I react to that? How can I solve that problem? Or maybe it's a critical business problem that we are discussing. How do I solve it? So problem solving skills are very important at every stage of your life. No matter if you're an engineer, you're in software, you're in hardware, you're done your MBA, you're done your BBA. So all these skills that I'm talking about are applicable for students across all sectors, employees in all regions, in all areas of life. So these skills are equally important like your core technical skills that you are getting. Whatever is your qualification, we can say it's your technical skill. So like for example, PhD, it's my technical skill. But that isn't enough. I cannot say I did my PhD, that's it. I have done my problem solving, I did my thesis, I'm not going to do anything else. It doesn't work like that. So we will have problems and we must be prepared to solve those problems. That's the first skill. The second skill is called self management. And this is actually taken very lightly by most people. And Harvard professors also have spoken about this, that in one of their alumni sessions, most of the people were very unhappy, having lots of personal problems, divorced, lots of challenges, are not in good jobs, financially broke, many challenges were there. And he addressed the point that we are not ready for life. We might be very intelligent, we might be the top of our class, but we are not prepared, we are not aware of the challenges and how to actually live our lives. So, self management is a very, very important skill. Each one of these, I might be using the word very important because they are. The idea is to stress their importance, so I'm using the term. So, self management. Who is self? Yourself. What do you have to manage about yourself? I mean, you're good, right? So, that's what we think. Self management talks about resilience. What is resilience? Your ability to get up every time you fall. You go for an interview, you didn't get the job. Again, you go for an interview, you didn't get the job. Again, you go for an interview, you didn't get the job still. What are you going to do? Earlier, I was working in another organization which was in a remote part of Oman. And I had to move to Muscat, where I am right now, for my career growth and for my own personal reasons. I wanted to move here. And I have applied again and again and again and again and so many times. It was so difficult because each time you apply, you don't get even a response. So, how strong are you? How resilient are you? How much do you believe in yourself that you are willing to try again? So, there is a very famous saying, try till you succeed, is very easy to say, very difficult to live it. Today's world demands resilience from individuals, from professionals, from organizations. Because of the first slide that I talked about, all those aspects that are there in the first slide, they are demanding that each one of us become very resilient and strong so that we are able to get up every time there is a setback. So, resilience is one skill that you must build, you must understand. And with resilience comes stress. So every time you fall, or every time you face a setback, or you did not pass an exam, it's not the end of the world. Failure is not the end of the world, it is the stepping stone to success. If you look at a staircase and you want to be at the top, each step is a failure. With each failure, you learn and you move up. So, in this process, how are you managing your stress? In the first slide, I talked about BANIA, which is called anxious. So anxious means there is high amounts of anxiety. I don't know what will happen. How much salary will I get? Will it be enough? Will I buy that car? Who's going to marry me? How will I settle in life? Will I complete this project? Oh, I don't like this person. How can I work with him? So, like this, you will have zillions of questions all hovering around you in your life journey. And each one will create some kind of stress or other. Just when you think everything is comfortable, something else happens. Your boss says, okay, you can't go for a vacation. Or suddenly you realize that the interview was yesterday, it's preponed to today. That is stress. So, how are you managing your stress? Are you relaxing? Are you doing something to understand and manage your stress? Is very important for you to be successful. Why is it very important? Because when we are stressed, we tend to make mistakes. Our system, the human body, is both biological, chemical, it's all, everything affects us. So the minute we feel anxious, certain hormones are released. So that make us more nervous, that affect our cognitive capacity to think. We end up making wrong decisions. So stress is very important. It's a reality, it's a part of life, and we must know how to manage it. Flexibility. Today, flexibility is the key because I don't know how life is going to unfold. You join a job with an assumption you're going to get posted in a certain area, but you end up getting posted in a remote location. Or you wanted to join a particular team, but you are posted in another team. Or you wanted to work on this big project, but you're given a very small project which doesn't have so much value. How flexible are you? How flexible are you to handle this situation? If you are not flexible, you will break. Again, stress. So there is stress in you. So flexibility talks about your ability to adjust to a given environment. I'm not saying compromise. I'm not saying, do something that you don't want to do at all. But you have to be flexible enough to understand the environment. So maybe you didn't get what you want. So you just hang on a little. Just see if it is going to be different. Because in workspace, in life, you will be in so many situations where a lot of adjustment and flexibility is required. I'm not talking about sacrifice. I didn't use the word sacrifice. Those are all big personal choices that we choose to make. I'm talking about flexibility. Maybe working with somebody you're not comfortable. We have fixed notions. This is right, this is wrong. I don't like this nationality. I like this nationality. So if you're going to be in those fixed notions, you will not be able to adjust. And today, 35 to 40% organizations have diversity. In a given office, almost 30% diversity is there. Unless you are a country who's going for nationalization where you want a higher percentage, generally diversity is encouraged and preferred. So they speak differently. They think, I don't like them. So I'm not comfortable with them. So start moving out of that word comfort. Start going and stepping into discomfort because discomfort is where growth lies. You can only grow when there is discomfort. So become a little more flexible. Learning strategies. Now, maybe you finished your bachelor's, who are sitting here right now, or maybe you finished your master's also. So, learning is finished. So, you can say that, oh no, I worked so hard. I did my graduation, and then after that, I did my master's. Oh, it's too much of learning. I'm done with it. Now I got a beautiful job. Salary is very high. I have a good team. I have a personal assistant. My life is set. I don't have to learn. Biggest mistake. Learning strategies or lifelong learning is what you have to be. And all the skills that I've mentioned or going to be speaking about are all ones which are written by World Economic Forum. So these are forums which are telling what the world needs in the job place, in the job market, in an organization to be successful, to be sustainable. So we want people to be learning people. We want organizations to be learning organizations. Why? Because things are changing. If you learn, you become a little more flexible. You can't be a pawn of what is that? A frog in a well. You can't think that, oh, this is my world. It's beautiful. No, there's a world outside it. No matter what part of the world you are in, you have to be learning. Maybe you're in the most advanced economy, but you need to learn. You need to understand. So learning is something that you have to adapt. And by learning, I don't mean certification. I don't mean an expensive degree. I'm not saying go for a PMP certification, which is maybe very expensive, or you can do that once in a while. You have to have various sources. Bases of knowledge must be different. So maybe you're learning through dialogue. Talk to people, talk to your professors, talk to relatives, family members, listen to podcasts, read books, find your own jar of knowledge. And in this jar of knowledge, make sure that you're filling colored marbles of knowledge, not the same color. Not the same color means don't only read books, don't only watch the YouTube. Don't do anything which is always similar. So your jar of knowledge must be filled with colored marbles. It could be a podcast, it could be maybe a newspaper article that you're reading, it could be a research paper. Decide on your own flavor. I don't know what you like, but make sure that it's not only one kind. So you have to develop this from today. If you already have it, that's wonderful. Please keep at it. But if you don't, you have to make it an effort to try to read a book. You don't like reading? Start reading. So you find your own learning strategies and fill that jar up. Keep filling it. And remember, the jar is never going to be full. I finished my PhD and I'm still doing certifications. I'm constantly learning. I learn from my students, I learn from my clients, I learn from practically everything. And not even specific ways. If you just sit and you observe nature and you observe life and people, also you will learn. So have your own learning strategies. Emotional intelligence cannot be spoken of enough. Emotional intelligence talks about your self awareness, your ability to manage your emotions, impulses, drives, self regulation, and social skills. So, emotional intelligence today is known as the top skill to have. David Goldman is very famous for the work on emotional intelligence. 80% of successful leaders have shown to demonstrate that their success is attributed more to emotional intelligence than the fact that they are engineers from Stanford's and Harvard's. But their ability to manage their emotions, emotions of others, has been more successful for them. Third skill, related to the second also, it is people skill. Now, when you say working with people, you say, okay, what's the big deal? I mean, I join a company, I'm going to be working with people. Is that really a skill? Is it something that I need to develop? Yes, it is. Connecting with people, having the ability to strike a chord, strike a conversation, collaborating, communication, decision making, all are part of working with people. Today, once you join a job, you're going to be working in a team. So when you read about it in the book, maybe okay, teamwork. But suddenly you start working with teams, the people are different, their maybe accent is different, and you see some are not sharing information, some are sharing information, some are rude, some are egoistic, some are very caring, some are deceptive. So you will see all the shades of life once you start working in teams, and all the colors and all personalities suddenly in front of you. And oh, okay, now you have to complete a task, you have to complete this project in time with that specified desired outcome which your boss has asked you to, and then he will always be on you saying, checking, did you do it? And then you have to manage, and it's not that easy. So you have to develop these skills. So start interacting more with people. Start doing collaborative work more. I've met so many people, so many students who are not at all comfortable collaborating. And they're very comfortable saying, no, I don't want to work in a team. Please don't put me in this teamwork. Because a part of assessment, in many of the assessment, is mandatory to do teamwork. Why? Because you're going to be working in a team tomorrow. You can't say, I don't want to work. That does not happen in the workplace. So if you're not prepared for the workplace, you're not successful. So that's why we see more people finding it difficult to get jobs. They say, I finished my degree, I got 98% or 99.9%. Why, did I get the job? Or why am I not doing well in the job? 6 months down the line, you get information, you get feedback that no, this person is not good. We are having challenges with them. They are not supporting. Without working, connecting, collaborating, and communication, how are you going to make a single decision in the workplace? So, for making decisions, for coming out with solutions, for interacting with clients, deciding on vendors, selling that product, deciding who to hire, you have to have people skills. And the most common, disagreement. And today it is more because our attention span has reduced, our anxiety is high. Before I say something, there is a conflict between two people, there is a conflict between customer and client, there is a conflict between employees. So conflict resolution is very important. When we look at conflict resolution, we want sustainable solutions. We want to work in conflict resolution in such a way that the solution works. And if you are not good with people, you cannot arrive at solutions. You cannot do negotiations. So you might say, okay, I'm a programmer, you know, I will only do programming, so why are you asking me to do all of this? I'm not working in HR, or I'm not in marketing. I'm pure hardcore programmer, I have exceptional skills, anybody will hire me and pay me a very huge salary. But you have to listen to client requirements. For you to write your program, you need to work with client requirements. You need to understand the client. So if you're not good at connecting and communicating, you will not understand the requirement properly. Yes, maybe the requirement is not as high as another, but even if you are hardcore programming, you need social skills to connect because we are human beings. So you need to interact. So maybe you're never given that big project because you are always aloof, you're on your own, you are thinking that you don't need to talk to anybody. You have a tinge of arrogance on your shoulder because of your qualification. So then you will not get that big project. You will always be put in those projects which people don't want. Why? Because you're not connecting, you're not collaborating, you are not showing empathy, you're not connecting with people. So even if you are a hardcore programmer, you do need to have these kind of skills. Empathy, another skill which is very important today because across the world suffering has increased. There is more pain than we experienced earlier, though we are technologically advanced and we are connected and we have lots of money and we have e-commerce. Still, suffering has not reduced. So because of that, because people have anxiety, because there are challenges, we need to show more empathy. What is empathy? Empathy is very simple. It is thoughtful considerations of feelings of others. But today we are not bothered about others. We are only concerned about I. What's good for me? How will I get that project? How will I get that job? It's always me. There is no empathy. So when there is no empathy, there is no connection. And when there is no connection, there is bad communication and decision making. So empathy is how are you reacting to an employee, to a given situation, to people in the environment. So empathy is very important. It's just thoughtfulness. And please don't misunderstand empathy for sympathy. Nobody wants pity. Nobody wants that sympathy shown. But they do accept and yearn for empathy. As a human, we look for, what do you say, reinforcement. I want that little support from my employee, from my coworker. It builds relations. Trust me, what you cannot achieve with talent, with anything, with money, you will achieve with good connections, people for people. So this empathy is very important and it helps us to build those connections with people. My fourth skill is technology, which personally also is a big discomfort area for myself. So I try to work with technology a little more so that I can understand it. So working with technology, many of us are not comfortable with technology. But we need to understand that one of the top skills that are required today are digital skills and emotional intelligence. We did a research 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and we presented it in Europe also, me and my co-authors. And that research looked at the new economic paradigm and how the world is changing. Interviews of experts were done, and we identified the skill sets that organizations required to survive, thrive, and grow. And what are the skill sets individuals require? That means, what is a company looking for in an employee? Or when you join the workforce, also a couple of years down the line, what are the skills that you require? And digital skills was the first one, and emotional intelligence was the second. Third was resilience, adaptability. So these skill sets that I am shared with you are reinforced by World Economic Forum and also reinforced by my own research, which has been done and presented in Eastern Europe. So we come to that skill, which is working with technology. Disruptions, technological advancements are too many these days. Everybody is on the phone. If internet is not there, we feel oxygen is not there. That's how important it has become. So technology usage, technology design, data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, robotics, big data, cybersecurity, programming, chat GPT, generative AI. So there is so much that we can talk about technology. But what do you need to know as a graduate? What do you need to know as somebody who's going to join the workforce? So, first of all, you need to understand what is your domain, what is the area that you are entering into, and what kind of technology affects your work. How much technology do you need? Are you an aerostewardess? Are you a HR manager? Are you going to join as a programmer? Are you going to join as a cybersecurity professional? Are you going to join as a data analyst? Or are you going to engage with business technology, business intelligence? What's your area? Most of the times we don't put effort in self awareness, understanding who I am, what are my requirements, how am I going to work with this. So, not necessary that I should know programming. I am a professor and I'm working in a university and I'm doing research. So one of my research, I had to learn R programming because I used it for that particular research, which I found very challenging. So if I want to do another research paper using our technology, I think I need to read it again because that was like a couple of years ago. But now, right now, I'm not using it, so I don't need it. So I don't need to know hardcore programming, but I need to know one, that's technology usage. Because we work with a module, we work with Moodle, we work with an LMS, it's a learning management system. We work on Turnitin, which we has to integrate with our ERP. So this is my space. So I need to know technology in this term. You need to know maybe a little more, maybe you don't. So find out what it is. But today there is a certain amount of common technology advancement and development that has happened, and we all have to know about it. So we all need to know how we can use Perplexity, how we can use Chat GPT. Now we have a lot of technology tools. The list would be endless if I begin. So you have Grammarly, you have for developing PowerPoint presentations. Recently, I came across one of my colleagues who was asking for, they were doing recruitment for the university, and it was for a position in which they have given a clear description of what they want. And in every line, like they said, okay, make a cover letter which is matching this, make sure you put in your technical skills. And at every point they mention, please do not use Chat GPT generated resumes. So this is a big wake up call for all of you. If you think that you can use Chat GPT to replace human creativity and intelligence, human creativity and intelligence cannot be replaced by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, no matter how advanced robotics becomes, will assist us to a very large extent. And the assistance will go very large. I think recently there was a technology development in Japan where they have they have used some kind of technology, advanced technology, and they've given skin to a robot, and it looked really bad and scary. So I don't think I want to have a robot looking like that because it will be difficult to work with. So you are experimenting, you are trying to bring technology as close as possible to human intelligence and creativity, as close. And you might even go to say that it is more, but it will never be, because ultimately we have created artificial intelligence. Let's not forget, we are the creators. That gives us an edge. So please do not undermine your own capabilities. Use Chat GPT, use Perplexity, or any other tool that you have, uh, QuickBot, or anything else that you are going to work with to assist you, not replace you. Please do not give out resumes and cover letters and motivation letters which are 100% from Chat GPT, because you have technology to detect it, and it's written getting really boring, because you see there are certain terminologies that are used, some words which are very heavy, which give away the fact that it's not you. So don't lose your uniqueness, and in fact that could be a competitive advantage for you, where you stick on to your uniqueness. Use it, but don't let it replace you. Now most of the decisions today are driven by big data, machine learning. So all of these technological advancements are, some are basic, some are advanced, very advanced. So you need to know which one of them is relative for you. Make sure you're updated on that. And you have to keep updation. Go back to the point where I said earlier about learning. So you have to learn, even connecting to a technology, using a new technology. For example, whenever I go to a new conference, the system is different. Or yesterday I was on Zoom. I did another session. The interface is totally different. And previously there was another interface. So it's all a little confusing. And at that moment, if you don't connect, you get nervous. So whenever I go for a conference, I like go the previous at least 1 2 hours before, put my PPT, check whether it's happening, because there are so many glitches that will happen with technology, which at that moment you don't know what's going to happen and you freeze, you get nervous. So again, emotional intelligence, stress management, deviation, disruptions. All these skills are related. And with technology, there will be disruption and deviation, which you never anticipated. So get ready for it. So update yourself on your latest skill set. The future workplace skills that we are talking about, or the skills that I have spoken, or some skills maybe I haven't mentioned, but you have read, you would like to share with me, please do. I'm willing to learn. Will only build your profile. What are skills? Skills are confidence boosters. If you have a skill, your confidence, you can sit in the table and talk and negotiate your salary, discuss and decide on this project, that project, what you like. A skill enhances your profile. So these skill sets do not have technical skill set in the same, in terms of your degree, because that's your personal choice. You decide you want to do an MBA or a BBA or an engineering, computer science, mechanical, totally up to you. Irrespective of what you do, you need all these 4 points with each of their nuances. Learning is future oriented. You have to be looking into the future. 5 years from now, how life is going to be. Am I prepared with that? So, first thing, it's always the mindset. Don't think that it's fixed. Don't be in the fixed mindset. Go for a growth mindset. Be flexible and agile in your thought. Only if your thought is agile and flexible, you are willing to adapt, you're willing to listen, to say, okay, this is new, I have to try it. I never worked with Turnitin. Turnitin is totally new to me. how to upload documents, how to read, and how to make sure students don't see. There are small glitches that are there. If you are not careful, your assessment, your marking will be seen by the student beforehand. Something very small but very important. So, learning is future oriented no matter what field you are in. Well-being and mental health is most important. That is what COVID has taught the world, and that is what is being adapted in the future of work. I have decided that work is just a part of life. Work is not life. It's not the end of the world if I have a small job, if I have two part-time jobs. I'm very comfortable, I'm happy. So, your well being and your mental health is most important. You will find work. You are talented because all human beings are potential. We are all talented. We just get, too many filters on us. So, we are not able to see the real strengths that we have, and we're not willing to work hard for it. And we are falling prey to distractions and disruptions. And if there is one takeaway that I want you to, take from this whole PPT, it's the last line: unlearn, relearn, and update. If you can be willing to unlearn something, maybe you did it in a certain way, but today you have to do it in a totally different approach. That takes a lot of change. And as humans, we are resistant to change. So, your ability to unlearn is your biggest weapon. Relearn, again putting a little extra effort and learning to do it in a new way, understanding how data science can be useful for me, understanding how conflict resolution can help me to be a better manager at work, how updating my skill sets will improve to get a job. So maybe joining an internship or doing an hands-on exercise, a simulation program will help me to improve my skills. So I am more confident. So when you sit in an interview or when you're going for a job, there will be questions which will be related to your technical aspects, of course, but then you will be asked like a situation. So, how are you going to solve this? What are you going to do? So, there it is application of knowledge learned. It's not just a textbook answer. Nobody is going to give you definitions. It's not that kind of an approach. So, because why? You are out of the textbook, you're going into the real world. And the real world is a lot different than it is from the book. So, for that, you need to imbibe these skill sets. I will share this PPT with her. Please do keep this PPT with you as a reminder that you need to get your skills. And every time you fall, check maybe there's one of these skills that you did not develop, you did not have. So remember, you have to work on it to improve yourself. Is this like the ultimate? No. Things are changing, skill sets will change. But these are the skill sets that we require at the moment to face this world and to be successful, and most important, to be happy. We all want happy employees, employees who enjoy, where I'm not waiting for a reward, but just the achievement of the goal. Just doing the work is happiness for me, is success for me. That's true success. So, for that, I would like to end this session with this note that I request all of you to keep that 50% promise of yours. And you can reach out to me anytime for my 30%, which I said I will support you. And I do a lot of support for students otherwise also. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any doubt regarding a skill set, how to go forward, or any challenge that you have. Remember, the key to success is to ask. You can ask your professors, you can ask your team members, you can ask so many people. And in that list today, you can add me also. So thank you for this wonderful opportunity to interact with all of you on this very important topic of skill sets. And you can reach me at LinkedIn. If any one of you have questions, I'm ready to answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the presentation. So I have some questions here. The first question: How do anticipate the growing importance of artificial intelligence and automation will influence the skill sets required for future graduates across the various industries?
Okay, so that's a very wide question. Automation and artificial intelligence is affecting industries, but it is not at the same pace. So, for example, if you're in manufacturing, it's going to affect you more. Like you are applying in aviation. So it depends on which industry. But when you talk about automation today, most of the tasks that we are performing as, let's say, the lower order thinking tasks will all be replaced eventually. So you have tasks which are lower order and higher order. So let's say lower order task could be writing reports, doing calculation, generating data. So for that today, I don't need myself. I have a tool which can do it. So even for transcribing, taking interviews, there is so many tools that have come. So automation is going to affect the lower order thinking jobs, higher order thinking jobs like creativity, leadership, what we discussed just now. So that AI will not come. Marketing specialist, yes, AI is going to come, but still I see scope for higher order thinking. So it is going to affect all the lower order thinking jobs and higher order thinking jobs. It will take much more time. And you must also understand the pace of adaptation in the sense that all countries, all sectors cannot invest in this technology. So again, it depends on which sector. It's a very specific in the terms that you need to see, okay, you want to get into aviation industry, manufacturing industry, let's say into education. So in education, you don't have too much automation happening. You will have it only at the end, at the level of data entry, uploading and reloading of documents. But a professor in the next decade is not going to be replaced. But some parts of the world have a bot and have a robot for assisting a teacher to take the attendance and to look around the class when they are speaking. So it's happening, but the pace of change is much slower. So advanced countries adoption will be much more higher, but the emerging economies, it will take much more time.
Okay, so thank you, ma'am. The next question, in what ways should educational institutions adapt their curriculum to better prepare students for emerging roles in the gig economy and freelance work?
Okay, freelance work, fine. So now we will see that there is a lot of change and gig economy is picking up. So the educational institutions can bring about a lot of change in curriculum, include the concept and skills required for freelancing, and actually also talk about it as a career option, because still now we are not talking about freelance as a career option. We are only looking at it as something that will happen. Let's say you have 10 years of experience and then you decide, okay, now I will become freelance. So still at the younger age, it's not considered as an option in many countries because it's still seen as a taboo. So if you're able to cross that, educational institutions need to adapt and open this up as an option, as a career option. And what are the skills required to it? Today, your career is not a ladder. It's a jungle gym or it's a lattice. Lattice means you'll be moving from one career to another. There is a lot of research which is saying that you need two careers. So how can we imbibe all of this? Educational institutions must have career counseling as a cell, a career counseling cell, and students must be given career counseling at all stages, not only when they are going to the job, probably from the first year, induction for the students must be done. Various career options must be discussed. That is how we will have the herd mentality reduced, especially in India, for only STEM or only engineering and medicine, and you open up more options. So I think it's all about career counseling and courses also, which are related to expanding the horizon on availability of options. That's what education institutions need to do.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, how might the advancement in digital communication technologies alter the essential soft skills that graduates will need to effectively collaborate and lead in a globalized workforce?
Okay, so for example, many people are camera shy. So if I say everybody put your camera on, you're not going to do it. So how will digital skills affect collaboration and communication is digital skills are going to change the way we communicate, change the way we interact. Let's say you're working remotely, right? Now, if you're working remotely and you're on this system, how do you know whether the employee is working or not? How do you understand and how do you learn to deal with digital collaboration? So you can't see me, I'm not in front of you. So maybe I don't put my camera on. Maybe for 20 minutes there is silence, I'm not speaking. So immediately you don't understand how to use this technology. So digitalization is change the way we communicate. So people might say, "Oh no, it is creating problems." Now we don't have people. Now everything is online. It's boring. The human touch is lost. I agree, but I also agree there is a cost element. The more flights we fly, the more conferences we attend, we are giving more carbon emissions. So it is not sustainable. So you need to strike a balance. So many companies are going for remote work, and then you're meeting with your clients once a month. Sorry, with your team members once a month. So digitalization has basically changed the way we communicate, and it's also affected how we look at it. So many companies are not comfortable with all of this, and they are insisting employees to come to work, or they're doing micromanagement on the net, which is again a lack of empathy, does not display emotional intelligence, also breaks trust in your employee. So it's affecting the soft skills in a big way, which have to be learned over a period of time.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, what new interdisciplinary skills are likely to become crucial as industries continue to integrate the technology and data analytics into their core functions?
uh, when you talk about integrating data analytics or business intelligence, it's already happening, and organizations across the world are doing it. What is going to happen more is the fifth industrial revolution, that is human integration, a human face to this data, or to this robotics. Like I told you, I'm used to working with people. So down the line I might be working with a robot which will not smile at my jokes, maybe, which will not understand those jokes, which will look differently. So, if you're talking about Japan, now they have heavy investment in robotics and they are short. Even though they are investing so much in robotics, they are short because their workforce is having a very high percentage of aging population. So every country has its challenges. So if you see Japan, they are having huge amount of integration of technology with robotics. In fact, there are people who are running businesses, handicapped people who are at home with the operation of a mouse are able to manage restaurants in Japan. So they have integrated in a high way. Like I said in the beginning, the integration again is not possible at every stage for every country. But what is going to happen in the future is we will see a little more integration happening. There will be more amount of digital skills that are required and people along with it, which will make it challenging.
Yeah, okay. Ma'am, if you have any other question, from Tech.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, if you have any.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I? Thank you. First of all, let me thank you for this insightful session. And I would like to share my experience also. 2 days before we went to, as a part of the industrial visit, we visited IIT Madras Research Park, incubation center. We have seen all the startups and NDT testing methods also we have seen. And they have shown us that there is a big open window for the future job opportunities for our students. This is an untouched area, entity. So we are also, like you are saying, there are many areas which they can explore. So we are also trying the students to get employed using such as a entity as one.
That's very good. It's very nice to know that students are going to such institutions and seeing such opportunities. It brings me to a point which I forgot to mention when I was speaking about technology. there needs to be more awareness, right? You were talking about career and all. So at the moment, the world is facing a 4 million shortage of cyber security professionals. So I would really encourage all of you to explore this as an option for our students also. And this gap is only going to increase, and the highest gap is in the Asia Pacific region. In fact, I have published an article on this, and so Gandhi, I can share it with you. You can share it with everyone else also, because we are looking for our people, our students, our youth to find jobs in the right space. So it is very important that industry, market demand, and curriculum need to match. So cybersecurity is a big hole. There is a big void that's going to happen, and in the next 2 decades, we will see more. Why? Because we know today our life is digital. Half our interactions, our whole life, Google knows about it. Everything about us is on Gmail. Okay. And we are interacting in all kinds of social media platforms. So our social life is also digital, and our financial life, that means all our spendings, our transactions, everything is digital. Today we are hardly going to a bank. I don't know when was the last time I went to a bank to draw money, and I'm sure it's the case with all of you. So because digital transformation and digitalization is on a rampant increase, cybersecurity professionals are going to be in high demand, but there are specific technical skills that are required. So that is also mentioned in the article that I have published. So I would really encourage your company, which is in TechStem Solutions, to explore this as an option also.
Thank you, ma'am. And
Yeah.
we already have this subject. Our
Very
engineering
good.
students have this subject.
Very, but are they interested in taking it, ma'am?
Yes,
as a
ma'am. Why not?
as a career? Okay, very good, that's good. So because that's why I said, no, many people have a fixed mindset. They want that software engineer programmer kind of a role. So
As you said, flexible mindset is needed.
yes, that's why if it is there, then it's awesome, we are going to do really well.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
So thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the answers. So the useful answers. So the answers are very useful. I hope the access and that the participants can understand about that. So finally, on behalf of everyone here, I extend our deepest gratitude to Dr. Mythili Kolluru for her invaluable insights and contributions today. So, your exceptional knowledge and thought leadership have provided us with a profound understanding of the evolving graduate skill set and the future of education. So, your expertise and drawn from both your academic achievements and your professional experiences has offered us a comprehensive perspective on how to navigate the complexities of the modern job market. And my special thanks to Mr. Satyanathan sir for this wonderful collaboration from Institution Innovation Council Tech, and thanks for your support and everything like engaging our session. So we appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to sharing your experience and vision with us. So your engaging presentation and thought-provoking ideas have sparked meaningful discussions and have undoubtedly inspired us to approach our careers and educational paths with renewed purpose and clarity. So, your commitment to advancing knowledge and fostering growth is truly commendable. So, thank you once again, Dr. Mythili, for your exceptional contribution to our session. So, we are honored to have had the opportunity to learn from you and look forward to applying the insights gained today in our future endeavors. So, your impact on our understanding of the new world paradigm is greatly appreciated, and we hope to continue benefiting from your wisdom in the future. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Suganti, for this opportunity, and thank you, professors, also for the wonderful questions. Career is very important because we spend a lot of time at our jobs, so we need to be happy about it, and we need to make a right decision. At the same point, don't take stress. This is stress is not to be taken, and don't think you made a mistake. You have wonderful team of professors helping you, institutions which are providing guidance, taking you to the right places at the right time. So I remember a small point my mother once told me. She said, ask is the secret of your success. You have to ask. You just ask and you go forward. And if you ask empathetically, politely, you get the answers that you want. So, the right questions, please feel free to ask. I'm an advocate of change through education, especially for students, especially for girls. So, my support is there for each and every one in this session. Anyone wants to ask me a question, please reach out to me at LinkedIn. Give me 24 hours because of the time difference to get back to you. It's a promise that every question asked will get a reply. And I was talking to Suganti ma'am also, but this is not the end, it is just the beginning. So you have any more doubts about career, any other assistance that you need, or just a question also, please feel free to ask me. And thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Just 1 minute.
Okay. I see a question. The book is available on Amazon. I will share the link. And yeah, the PPT, I will share it with Suganti.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. I will
Thank you
share.
so much.
Okay, ma'am. Can you see the virtual monitor, right?
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Sure, sure. So, ma'am, on behalf of Mastering Up, we present this virtual memento as a tribute to our guest speaker, Dr. Mythili Kolluru. So, your insightful contribution have enriched our knowledge and inspired us profoundly. So, this token of appreciation symbolizes our gratitude for your expertise and dedication. So, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and shaping our understanding in profound ways. So, thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
One more point before I end. I really want to appreciate you in the sense that you have done a sustainable initiative. So, this is what I was talking about. So, she's given me a memento which is not real. So, she hasn't used any plastic, she hasn't invested, but she has used a digital skill. And I can showcase this on my digital profile also. So, we've saved a little of Mother Earth and protected nature. So, how can you imbibe sustainability in your profession? Is what she has just given a demonstration. Thank you so much again.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Yeah, sure.